So let's start by creating a project. Let's choose empty views activity for this project and name the project as Celsius to Fahrenheit. The agenda of this project is to get the temperature in Celsius and convert it to Fahrenheit. Let us choose Java as our programming language and hit on finish to create the project. As soon as the project is created, you would see two files over here, mainActivity.java and activity_main.xml. As we are all aware of why these files are used, activity_main.xml is used for the UI design and mainActivity.java can handle the interactions by the user on the UI. MainActivity.java would be present under the package name and activity_main.xml would be present inside the layout folder of your resources folder. Double clicking on these files would also open the files on the editor. Now we see activity_main.xml is open. Now let us quickly design the user interface. And for this user interface, I would be using linear layout. First of all, on the component tree, do a right click, go to convert view, select linear layout and hit on apply. So the linear layout's default orientation is horizontal. You can change it by selecting the linear layout under the component tree, jump into the attributes on the right hand side, set the orientation, type ORI and that gives you orientation over here. Change it to vertical instead of horizontal. That's all of it. Your linear layout is now a vertically oriented linear layout, which means you can place the elements one on top of each other as a stack. Now we require an edit text box to accept the user input. In order to take the edit text box, jump into the text option of our palette, drag in the plain text box, drop it on the screen. Now you see this text box is a little small. You can tap on this and hit on attributes so that the properties related to this edit text box which is selected under the component tree or which is selected on the actual screen that you see will be displayed on the right hand side. All we need to do is change the ID of this edit text box to Celsius. Hit on refactor so that this ID will be applied to the edit text box. As we discussed earlier, so this edit text box is of a smaller size across the height of the screen. Let us change it to 50 dp. There is a default name that is being displayed is not an appropriate way of displaying an edit text box. You can remove it and instead of displaying text, you can provide hint. I would like to give enter temperature in Celsius. I would like to restrict the user to only enter numbers. You can jump into the input type, hit on this flag. You get a lot of options. Now you choose number and you want number in decimal format. So this is to be selected. Now we need a button. So the idea of the button is button. Let us leave it like that. But the text displayed is also button. I'll make the text of the button as convert to Fahrenheit. Whenever the result is there, the result has to be displayed on a text view. Drag a text view, drop it on the screen. The ID of the text view is text view by default. If you see here, the ID is text view. I'd like to increase the size of the text to, let's say, 90 or 60 SP is fine. SP stands for scalable pixels and this is used to scale up or scale down the text based on the user's preference. Let's choose the font family. Let us choose monospace. Let's change the style to bold and also change the color. By hitting on this picker, you can choose any color of your interest. So the default value on the text view, so instead of text view, replace it with 0. Let us scale this design to appear at the center of the screen or just increase the size of the text view to match parent. I'm doing the second one. I'm increasing the size of the text view to match parent. Let us get the text view to the center of the screen by setting the gravity attributes value. Search for gravity on the search and select center so that the text view comes to the center of the screen. You hit on the button code gets highlighted on the editor. You can use on-click event handler through on-click attribute that is in place. Android on-click. And I would like to trigger or I would like to invoke a method. I will invoke a method when the button is clicked and that method name is going to be convert. Now this method, if you see on main activity.java, we don't have that method. If you want to create it, all you need to do is you do alt enter and create convert view in main activity. So that creates a method on main activity.java. Now this method gets invoked as soon as the button on the XML file is clicked. So whatever the logic that has to happen will happen here. So the logic goes in 3 steps. The to do one is get the Celsius temperature. To do two, convert it to Fahrenheit. Finally, the last to do item would be display the data to the user. So if you want to get the data, the Celsius temperature from the UI, you need the reference of the edit text box. So you type EDI, you get suggestions. Choose edit text from Android.widget package. Let's call the object as CT, stands for Celsius temperature. Now we also need text view in order to display the data once the conversion is done. So type TE, wait for suggestions. You get text view from Android.widget package, select it and call it as TV. Now connect these views in the onCreate method. So CT is equal to find view by ID r.id.celsius because Celsius is the ID given for the edit text box. Now for text view, we know which ID is given r.id.textView. When you get these kind of errors, we need not to worry. We can just jump into build and hit on clean project. These errors will be fixed automatically. Once we have both these references, we can first get the data from the edit text box. The data will be entered by the user. So an important point to remember, the data entered on the edit text box can only be read in the format of a string. We should explicitly convert it to integer or a floating point value and use it further. What I would like to do is, I'd like to create double Celsius temperature. Celsius is equal to CT dot. We have a helper method called getText that gets the data out of the text box and you should convert it to string. Now there is an error. This error can be read if you mouse over this error. It says required type is double, but the provided type is string. Now all you need to do is you do alt enter, wrap using double dot parse double. That converts this entire string that is coming from the edit text box where the data is input by the user and it is converted to and it is put to Celsius variable. The formula to convert Celsius, I mean, the formula to convert the temperature in Celsius to Fahrenheit is F is equal to C into 1.8 plus 32. So here F is Fahrenheit and C is Celsius temperature. By looking at this formula, we can create a double value called F and that is equal to Celsius star 1.8 plus 32. So this is the Fahrenheit value and we are supposed to display it on the text view. If you want to display it on the text view, all you need to do is you write tv.setText. Now whatever the value that you give to the text view should always be in string format only. F is a double value. It cannot be displayed on the text view if it is not converted to a string. So to convert it to a string, we can use string dot value of and then you can pass F to that method. Now I'm going to run this application on my device, on my physical device. The device is connected. You can see that here. Let us run the app and test our output. In order to show you the output, I am using a third-party app called Visa, which tasks my physical device screen onto the computer. This software is not required uh, for the developers because they can directly see the output on their physical device itself. So you see the app is up and running. Now let us enter 37 and if you click on convert to Fahrenheit, let's see what happens. You get 98.60000 and so on with 1. So this is a lengthy output. You can cut it short. You can write math dot round off. You write f, multiply it by 100 and divide it by 100. This should be working now. Let's try to do it again. The app is up and running once again. Now I would like to enter 37, and if I hit on convert to Fahrenheit, I get to see 99. So this is rounded off figure. The actual value is 98.6. So if you want to get it exactly, there are other ways of rounding it off. We'll try other ways of rounding it off as well. We can use decimal format. Df is equal to new decimal format, and you give the exact format you would like to. Hash dot hash hash, the semicolon at the end, and instead of math dot round, we can use df dot format of, you pass the actual value, which is f in this case. You can directly run the app again and test the output. We'll be entering the same value, which is 37. If I hit on convert to Fahrenheit, I see 98.6. It would always be better to display a degree symbol on top of 6. For that, degree symbol, if I type it like this, I get a degree symbol right here, and I should be able to copy this. So copy this symbol, which you see here, come back and append it to the exact value that you're displaying. Now, when you're displaying a string along with another format data, you need not to use string dot value of. It is also better to display F to represent Fahrenheit. Now run the app again and you will get the output. Let's check it with the same value, 37, let us say. And if I convert it to Fahrenheit, I see 98.6 degrees Fahrenheit. Thanks for watching the video. Subscribe to Vidwan for more content. Have a good day.